Alright, Schlockmeister fans, we're going to re-review something from my old channel. It's called Sitting Ducks. What the hell is this? Let's check it out. Simon and Sydney, two thieves working for the mob. They've got some plans to rip off the mob since the guy on the left is the big accountant for them.
Just relax. This is a chance of a lifetime.
I don't think you'll mind. There are no collections tomorrow. They've been called off for tomorrow. Just for the day, on Thursday, collections as usual.
No collections. It's the big game, the Yankee Red Sox.
Sure, that's why we'll have a big collection on Thursday to make up for it.
So they got the money. The plan is to drive from New York down to Miami, and then from there go to Costa Rica and live off the money for the rest of their lives.
Just look at it. $750,000. And you know what else you got? You got this. You are Sydney Beckon.
So on their way down south, they run into this guy, and Sydney decides to hire him to be their driver.
Tell you what, you want to make some bread?
How much bread?
A lot of money.
What's a lot of money?
How'd you like to change your whole life, mister?
They stop at a Holiday Inn along the way, and Simon takes to this chick. We're going to find out her name is Jenny. They also meet a ditzy waitress.
I didn't even know that there was a 15. I knew there was a B1, B5.
You know something about vitamins?
Well, I know.
Yeah, well, even if you knew a lot, don't be surprised you don't know about 15, because to begin with, in the United States, it's not even recognized as a vitamin.
The drug?
No, it's certainly not a drug.
I should sit down and be a person like everybody else, and you want to talk to me. I certainly don't deserve to be treated with any kind of respect or any kind of lovingness, or treated like a human being who deserves.
This is going to be her last day on the job.
What's the result of this?
I quit my job.
You quit? I mean, just for the moment, or you really quit?
I quit, but I want you to know that just because you were here when it happened, I didn't want you to feel that you were to blame for it.
I'm going from here to the most beautiful place in the whole country. Miami Beach, Florida.
Away from here.
They're going to invite the ladies to come with them.
Away from here. But I don't want to lead you on, and if we go on a trip together, then for sure you'll be expecting to have some sort of, like sex, or, that kind of thing.
It's very strange that I'm inviting you along. The fact that I'm doing, I like you. If I like you, I'll feel like having sex with you. But I'll only feel like having sex with you if you'll feel like having sex with me.
They have a sing-along.
Just like a drum in a small town. I got a feeling that I can live there.
If they go and get sex out of it, that they pay or that they do something or other with, that's what the whole thing is. And that's why I refuse to be part of a situation like that. You see, I'm really fantastically good at sex. I'm fantastically good at sex because I have all the proper components of being good at it. When I'm doing it, I'm not doing it to satisfy myself physically. I'm doing something to share something with a woman and to give a woman a pleasure, the degree of pleasure that she can have.
The boys are in the bathtub together.
Leave that fucking bar alone. Now, will you do what I say this time? Make a phone call. Let's get a couple of broads up here.
You're behaving like a deviant, and I feel
I'm
like
deviant.
That's right.
Are you worried about me
Getting naked-
sexually?
I'm not worried, but the whole idea of you're getting in a bathtub with me naked.
What the fuck am I?
And it's the driver who gets laid from Jenny.
You get it? Okay.
They get robbed. The money was hidden in the car, in the tires.
We're gone. We're gone. Look at this thing, will ya?
Don't look at the wheel. Don't look at the wheel.
They ripped the fucking car apart and took the money. That's what they did. Shut up, damn it. Jesus Christ, we stole this shit for nothing. You know. They haven't got the money. They haven't got it. You know. Listen, I know how.
Said that when I was a a tiny baby, only a couple of months old. I was lying in her lap, and suddenly I started getting all hot and sweaty, working myself up, and she got very nervous about it. She took me to the doctor, and the doctor told her that I was masturbating. I've done it all my life ever since. In fact, it's...
Jenny likes all the boys.
Would you like to have sex with me? Because if you'd like to, I'd like to have sex with you. I don't kiss.
I mean, it sounded like it was a wonderful idea to go look.
Jenny's not done.
Do you talk about sex or do you do it too?
Do I only?
Would you, like to have sex with me? Because if you'd like to, I'd love to have sex with you.
What I mean is going to bed with Simon. That's what I mean.
Well, you got me started. Somebody had to get me finished.
It was all that booze. That's why I fell asleep. I swear to God.
I mean, I got real close to all of you. It's like family. You know what I mean? I never really had a family.
Leona, would you like to have sex with me? Because if you'd like to, I'd like to have sex with you.
And I expect you to take care of it, so I don't have to do it anymore.
So is Jenny not on the up and
I
up?
want to go home with you now.
What's the matter? What's the matter?
So I thought, what the hell? I got my...
Find out every piece of information you can. Find out where the money is tonight. Don't just nod. Listen to me.
The clitoris is the only organ that exists purely for pleasure and has no other function. The only physiological organ that exists purely for pleasure in any mammal.
Why aren't you getting undressed? I don't understand. We're not sleeping in the same bed. I want to be with you.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
He pays off Moose, the driver.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to wish you a lot of luck. You've been fantastic. That's wonderful. Okay, you did the right thing. That's it.
Leona admits that she kills people for a living.
The organization has known about your plans from the beginning, from the day that you called off the collections. They let you go through with it because they couldn't believe that there was only the two of you involved. The only thing no one discovered was where the money is. I was
Jenny shows up with a machine gun.
For God's sake, what is she doing?
Simon, Sydney, behind me.
What's going on? What are you doing?
But she turns the table on the hitman. She's on their side now. Well, some more mafia guys show up, and they have to take off without the money.
What are you crazy? Stop fighting here.
What's up? Jump out and kill a bastard.
But guess what?
You got the money?
I got the money. Where? Money on me. I got the money. I got it. How do you like that?
See, I didn't trust the situation. Knew many things were going wrong. You were shooting off your laptop, getting drunk, that disgusting behavior in the bar, everything else that happened. I left at that night. What do you think I did when I left?
All right, let's talk about Sitting Ducks. What is this film? Why do I have this? Well, this was a movie that showed up on cable way back in the day in the 80s. I never watched it, never saw it, knew nothing about it, but later on when I went back and looked at the old cable guides and I was thinking, you know, if that movie ever comes back, I'll tape it. For some reason I put this movie down, and I think it's because I saw like the box art or the picture in the cable guide showed these two couples in a bathtub or something like that. So I thought maybe it was some sort of sex comedy or something. So I threw it on there, and then at some point I found a videotape of it at a Blockbuster or something in the mid-90s, late 90s actually it was. Copied it, watched it. I thought it was actually a pretty decent film, and then I forgot all about it. And then, of course, I got the DVD at some point later on, and that's why I have it in my collection. So anyway, that is Sitting Ducks. So it's directed by a guy named Henry Jaglom, something like that. And I think he has a small role in this movie, too. It's a comedy about two guys, or actually one guy who works for the mob and his friend. They decide they're going to rip off the mob. He's like the accountant for the mob, and he arranges that he gets a hold of $750,000. So he and his friend abscond with that money in New York City, and they decide they're going to drive down to Miami Beach. From there, they're going to take a airplane and fly to Costa Rica and live out the rest of their lives with $750,000. Along the way, they meet a guy named Moose who they hire to be their chauffeur. They meet a couple ladies along the way too, including Jennifer, who decides she wants to sleep with anybody and everybody in their crew. Um, One of the guys, he said that they've hidden the money within the tire wells or something like that. So at one point, the mob guys catch up with them and they can't find the money. They actually rip the car apart and don't find it, but they don't do anything to them. So they continue to drive south. Eventually, we find out that Jenny is actually hired by the mob to infiltrate them, find out where the money is, where they're going, and then the other lady, Leona, same deal. They work together. They're hit women, is what they call themselves. But along the way, they start to really like the two guys. What's their other names? Simon and I can't remember the other guy's name, but they end up liking them quite a bit. And ultimately, one of them decides she wants to jump ship with them and go to Costa Rica with them, get out of the hit woman life. So the three of them are going to leave, and then they're at the airplane the next day. Jenny shows up with a machine gun, but instead of shooting them, she shoots the mafia guy that she was with. Then the four of them run to the airplane, take off. They're not able to get the money out of the car, but then when we find out up in the plane, one of the guys had the money strapped to his chest. Actually, he had half the money strapped to his chest, not all of it, just half of it. So I guess they're all going to Costa Rica with $375,000, and that's our film. But anyway, it's a very dialogue-driven film. There's just a lot of conversations between the characters in this movie. But I'll tell you, I was actually fascinated by it. I enjoyed it, and I'm not exactly sure why. It wasn't like a side-splittingly funny, laughy comedy. In fact, I don't even know if I laughed a whole lot at all. It was just weirdly interesting. That's the best way I can describe it. I don't know. It's probably a film that most people have never even heard of. I'm surprised I've heard of it, but I have, and I have it. So anyway, that is Sitting Ducks. Again, if you can track this movie down, check it out because it is pretty interesting. I don't know how else to tell you about it. There's a little bit of nudity in it. It's not a schlocky film by any means, so I'm not sure exactly why I'm reviewing it on this channel, but it is kind of a fun film and you should check it out. So we'll leave it at that. That is Sitting Ducks, Henry Jaglom. He actually has a brief introduction prior to the movie too, if you're interested. I will leave a link down below to Amazon, assuming it is still there. The company that put this out, it says Wellspring, rainbowfilms.com. Don't know what they are or if they're still around, but we'll see if the DVD is still out there. Check it out. Leave some comments. It's Sitting Ducks. Watch it if you can find it. Bye. Well worth a watch.